In this video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about auctions and the benefit of going to auctions, looking through auctions, finding auctions, that sort of thing. Hi everybody, this is Indiana Joe Jurek again, and today I'm in the beautiful state of Michigan. As you can see, the sailboats behind me on the water. There's multiple boats out there, just like there's multiple deals out there in the water. How do you go about finding them? And today I'm going to talk about the benefit of auctions. There's two types of auctions out there when you think about it. There's a courthouse auction where somebody falls behind on their payments, and the county sometimes will auction off their property, or have a sheriff's auction. That auction's good to go to. One, you can potentially find properties, although you can't get into them, but two, you can find buyers at those auctions to network with and potentially add to your buyers list. When you look at different auctions, there's three major nationwide auction companies out there. One is williamsauction.com, another is hudsonandmarshall.com, and the third one is auction.com. Number one, you can go out there on the website and register and put your name out there in the area of the country that you're interested in. A lot of times it'll sort by city or by county for the specific state that you want. Go ahead and register for multiple states if you want, because then you'll get information anytime they're having auctions in those cities, counties, or states that you do have an interest in. It reminds me of a funny story. One time, Stacy and I were interested in a property right here in Michigan, and we came out to make an offer on it. It was a beautiful day like today in the summertime. Really liked the property, liked everything about it. It was a bank-owned foreclosure, on the market a long time, had a couple price reductions, needed work, but wasn't moving. When we came in, we were kind of aggressive on the offer that we made on the property, and the bank countered, we countered, the bank countered, we stood our ground, and over the course of a couple weeks, we never got anything on that property. Then, about 6 months later, I was going through the newspaper by chance, and I saw they were having an auction in Michigan in the area we had looked at a property at that past summer. The funny thing was, it turned out to be the exact property that we were interested in that past summer. So now it's middle of February, we get in our vehicle and we start driving towards Michigan, and wouldn't you know it, in the middle of winter, a bad snowstorm blizzard actually comes off Lake Michigan. The interstate, which is normally 5 lanes each way, was down to 1 lane. It was like a whiteout, you couldn't even see. So as we're driving, we finally get to the auction, and there were about 18 or 19 other potential buyers that were there. So I could have networked with the buyers and added a few to my buyers list, but we were going to this particular auction because we wanted to go ahead and bid and make an offer on the property. So when we got there, Stacy registered right away, and she went ahead and started to bid. And it was kind of funny because for me, the bidding was going really fast. It was hard for me to follow along, but for Stacy, she worked on a trading floor, so it was real easy for her to follow along. And it was just funny to see us hit a high bid and going once, going twice, going 3 times, and we finally got it. The unique part of this story was the high offer that we put in at the auction was actually $20,000 less than the highest written offer we had previously made through a realtor. So I thought there was no way they were going to accept our offer. Well, lo and behold, 3 days had passed, and they got back to us to tell us that they did accept our offer. So when you're dealing with banks, you're dealing with auctions, anything's possible. The other thing to know about auctions is some auctions can sell properties, but the owner still reserves the right not to sell it at that particular price. They can either accept or reject the highest offer. Those auctions that are sold absolute, meaning regardless of price, they sell to the highest bidder. This reminds me of another story. We were actually in Michigan, and they actually built condos right on Lake Michigan. The owner or the developer that developed the condos wanted to actually sell off a few of them because he probably had a bank or an investor to pay. There was over half the complex that wasn't sold, and the first 3 condos were actually selling absolute regardless of price. To my amazement, the typical condos were $400,000 to $500,000 normally, and these people at the auction did bid them up close to $400,000. The ironic thing is, if the high bidder would only been $50,000 for the first 3, they would have had to sell it for $50,000 because they were being sold absolute regardless of price. After they sold those first 3, I think they sold 4 or 5 others. and then the owner or the developer had decided he didn't want to auction off any more units, because once you're the high bidder, you got your choice as to which unit you wanted. So in this case, he probably raised enough money. But once again, at that auction, there had to be close to 100 different people at that auction. It wasn't on site at the property, it was in a hotel and a conference center. So a lot of times when you go to these auctions, they could be on the courthouse steps, they could be right at the property, or they could actually be in like a hotel conference room where they show the properties and you bid on them from there. So there are more than one benefit when it comes to auctions. Make sure you see what's on the market. Make sure you know you're going to either bid or find buyers. Look at all the benefits you could have just about finding out what's up maybe for auction in your area. Till next time, have a great day. Believe and achieve. Take care. Bye-bye.